I've heard good things about that, but I
Oppenheimer.
haven't seen it.
So please don't be surprised if you hear an atomic bomb
I'm
exploding
gonna
in the
sell.
background.
I'm gonna sell my brain to
Bro, really?
My brain is gonna be sold to Volkswagen.
Yeah, I need it so that I can actually sell it on the black market, resell it around like what 500 grand, and worth a lot now.
Need it.
It worth a lot up there.
Me
Tor.
too, Victoria. Me too.
Just you, Tor.
I need money. I need money.
Oh my goodness.
Not everybody already descended out of insanity, not into it even more.
Me doing the dishes is driving me crazy because the sound is so loud that even my mic can pick it up.
Oh my goodness.
I am close to losing my wits and mind altogether.
That sounds like me by the end of our session this morning.
Yes, but you get to laugh and I get to frown.
Oh, believe me, this laughter is not voluntary.
Today I just found out that my brother's speaking skills is as good as a fifth grader, which can actually put to shame a 10th grader in Vietnam. Remember that he's 5 years old.
Which one?
I got a younger brother, 5 years old, and he could actually have a skill of speaking English of a fifth grader and could actually put a 10th grader in Vietnam to shame.
Hey. I'm awake. What are you talking about? Bikini
Never mind.
soup served with underwear rice. My good Lord, you guys have crazy imaginations. Yes, I will buy your liver on eBay for 42 cents. I'll pay 43 and I'll give you a 1 cent tip.
Wow.
Okay, we're live streaming now, so we have to behave
no.
somewhat.
Well,
I
we have to live stream.
Can we start now? Can we start now?
Yes, we can.
Or debate,
With the debate, we're expecting Sophia to join us at past to begin with the brains fried. To begin with her adjudicator training to take you through what the adjudicators do. So if we do the debate now, we will have to make sure that we start immediately and that that we get through it as quickly as possible. So are we ready for a quick fire round of debate?
Yes.
Yes.
I love
Terrific.
how Lucas is shaking his head at the insanity of the chat. Like, hey guys, anyone want to buy Ed Sheeran for 69 cents?
Why would people
Said, like,
suddenly
hey guys, I'd like to sell my brother.
I'll pass. He's a ginger.
mentally unwell?
Sue, the queen just spoke. She said, Sue said, I'm not a shoe, please, to remind, okay.
Don't make me start laughing about that again. I identify as an attack helicopter. Somebody's been watching Ted. Okay, let's begin this debate, guys. So welcome to the reconvening of the NCSN mock debate rounds. We're back onto the topic, is the WSC the best debate competition available in Vietnam? Arguing for the proposition, making the case, yes, it is. We have Hamp, Sue, and Max. Arguing for the opposition, making the counter case, no, it is not the best tournament available in Vietnam. We have Jason, Juan, and Rosa. So I'm going to get my stopwatch up and ready. And I would like to invite the first speaker for the proposition, which is Hamp, to make his opening statements.
So I'm opposition.
I've got here proposition Hamp, Sue, and Max. Opposition is Rosa, Jason, and Huang. Hamp, are you here?
Yeah, no, he's not here.
Ah,
I scoured.
I can be opposition. Please.
We are proposition, not position.
Scoured the chat already. He's not here.
Okay, I don't care, please. I just want to debate.
Can I debate?
Me, please.
okay, so let's put somebody to the test. Who wants to jump in
Steve,
and take
Steve, please, Steve, Steve. No, not him. Me.
No, me.
I'm here. No, me.
I love the
No.
enthusiasm.
Me. I
No.
raised my hand first.
No, I
Okay.
raised mine first.
No,
Okay,
I
well, I
said
already
first.
see Nguyen Man Hui already has
Yeah.
the opposition team written.
No,
You
no.
get Michael.
Wait, but you're not Rosa, Jason, or Huang, so how does that work?
Canadian prop.
Mr. Michael.
Yes,
Please,
hello.
please.
Do you know
I don't
why? Do you know
care.
why 10%
All right, everyone
is-
calm down. Everyone calm down. Reassessing. Okay, so Rosa is here, Jason is here, and Huang, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay,
Please.
sweet. So we've got all three opposition team members. Sue is here. Max, are you here?
I'm here.
Sweet. There's Max. So yes, Hamp is not here, so I need one person to jump in.
I want to jump in. I can be prop.
Steve.
Okay, Harry's already changed to prop, so Harry's going to be first proposition speaker. Let's see how your impromptu debating skills go. Your time starts.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, debaters, judges, and opponents. My name is Harry, and I'm the first speaker of Team Proposition. Firstly, I would like to define what is the World Scholar Cup debate. It is a debate held in many classes, from primary, secondary to high school. At every age, you can join. In many other kinds of debate, you cannot join because of age. Well, this is not good in WSC because we can go into WSC and just be there and say, oh, I'm 8 years old. Yeah, I can still compete. It is the best debate competition in Vietnam due to several reasons. Firstly, WSC offers a unique and comprehensive format that goes beyond traditional debate competitions. It challenged
1 minute.
students with multiple areas. For example, last year we debated on something on history. The year before we debated on something science. There are many debates that can help kids have their imaginary opened out more than many other debates. It is not that hard or competing to many other debates, so it is more friendly to many people. That is why the other team cannot get with us. Also, the competition focused on education skills and development, not on competition. Workshops, feedback sections, and learning opportunities should be integral parts for the events. Here, we do not need judges who are so professional, they just see on fallacies and stuff. Here, they see our pronunciation, our fluency, and how we speak. They usually have competed in WSC before,
2
and
minutes.
some of them. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, keep going.
And some of them are really good. To end off my team's cases, that's all my idea. into the second speaker, they will speak more about many other ideas. That's the end of my speech. Thank you for listening. A bit over time, sorry.
Thank you very much. No, you're not. You actually had a minute to go. Okay, thank you very much. I would now like to invite the first speaker for the opposition team, Jason, to make his opening statements. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so yes, Harry, I partially agree with you that the WSC certainly gives a lot of, a lot of subjects and a lot of things that educational programs for kids that from the age primary, secondary, and high school students can learn. Yes, I do agree, but some details that I have already, witnessed in the WSC contest, that is a lot from its starting point. That is debate contest, right? It's a debate contest, but it's not actually a debate contest. It's just learning about a variety of subjects, not only debate. So sometimes it has been like the variety of subjects, naming the WSC with something that isn't relating to the debate, right? So yeah, that's my first idea. And what a second idea, I would like to say that, well, some judges, they are very
1 minute.
biased, like okay, like they are, they support some debaters that are their relatives, or they are related to them, so sometimes they support them, and other teams, they lose because they are
We've just had a request for a POI. Sorry, Jason, we've had a POI.
Is it
Harry, you
is
wish
it
to raise
accepted
point of
also?
information?
Is it? Yes. So, well, that is only your opinion. Though some people think that it is still a great chance to debate, because we can meet students in many places. We are only talking about debating. We are not talking about any other subjects. Yeah.
Jason, do you have a reply to that?
Well, of course I do. Well, I haven't finished. So I do think so. But debating contest, it has to be mostly about debate, or much about that. So not partially that we have to learn more about the variety of subjects, just outside of debating. So I think that contests, sometimes they aren't actually true about what they're saying about their contests. And sometimes they make their contestants, just confused about what's going on, what's gonna happen, and when they say that, when they do this, so make them really confused. Yeah.
2 minutes.
Okay, so yes, that's my the judges are very biased. That's my second point. And about the third point, I would like to say is that it costs money to go to many places. Apart from many countries that many contests that I have already participated, well, as they already provided us with money to go to places where we go into the final part. So like now, many contests we have to we already have to just take money and go. That's really, really expensive. So yeah, I would rather take part in competitions that don't waste money more than to competitions that really cost money.
3 minutes. Okay, thank you very much, Jason. I would now like to invite the second speaker for the proposition team, Sue, to continue the proposition's case. Your time starts now.
Wait. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so my speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sue, and I am the second speaker of the opposition side. So our side believes that proposition side. So our side believes that WSC is the best debate composition available in Vietnam. So for the rebuttals, The first thing is the fallacy of the first speaker of the opposition team. He says about that the students didn't know any subjects, they just give their own opinion. Wrong. I completely objection to this. Firstly, before they have anything, they have a team collaboration, which means that they work together to bring out their own to make out the team's argument, not each student's arguments. Secondly, they don't know the topic, but in the 10 minutes time they got to research, which also shows about their effectiveness in doing the research, knowing what they can research for and what they should research first. So now I would like to bring on the arguments. So the first thing is about the organization excellence. They have smooth logistics, efficient communication, and a very well-organized schedule are essential for a successful competition. See, look at this schedule for the 3 rounds. You have to be really quick and responsible to get there on time to continue with the debate. If you don't, then you will miss the other debate, which shows that you're a responsible person. And also, if you're saying that debating is not, the WSC debate is not professional, no. The friendly environment doesn't mean that the teachers, the students are not professional. And also the debate are for students worldwide. Okay, move to the second reason is that they speak back to the other teams and themselves. Well, each team speak back to their opponents. That means they're showing they're paying attention, can learn how to find the good points and improve for others. The impact is that they should have a positive impact, and it does. And the competition have a solid reputation with the debate community and be recognized for each contestant's excellence. Now look at this. Look at this in the Ivy Global School. They also give the students for 10 to 15 minutes to research. It is just like the WSC debate. However, they don't have the part where students connected with each other, learn from each other, and so much more. From this, we can see that WSC has many unique effects on the students. That is why WSC is the best debate competition available in Vietnam. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, give me a second just to swap my Wi-Fi network, and then we can continue. Okay, at this time, I would like to invite the opposition team second. 3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, sir, can I have 1 minute to prepare because
I shall allow it.
okay. Thank you. Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Yeah, true. In a normal debate, normally we gave them 1 minute to prepare when switching like debaters.
But we don't really have time.
Yes. So in our normal debate, we do make that allowance, but because we're trying to have a lightning round, we just want to get through it as quickly as possible. But because Huang asked, I granted it. So,
Mr. Michael, can I just give a short argument back to the second proposition speaker?
Could have just done a PR.
that is not normally that's not normally allowed debate protocol, is it? Where the first speaker would address the second.
I know, but
how about this? I will grant you that rebuttal after the end of the formal debate, so you can come back and make that rebuttal. So keep it in your mind.
So
Okay, your minute is up. So your time starts now.
Good night, everyone, and maybe we all have different time zones, whatever. But I am Namfu, or you can call me Kin, and I am the second proud speaker standing for the motion that WSC is not the best debate competition in Vietnam. as a second speaker, I have the very important duty to rebut the opposing side and state our team's second arguments. Now on to the rebuttals. The second negative speaker has stated that we don't have time. We don't in this WSC. We have time to socialize with more friends and make stuff and make more friends. But other competitions also have that. It's not like you go to. It's not like WSC is the only competition available to students in Vietnam that can help them make friends and do debate. Also, WSC is normally not focused around debate. Debate is maybe just a activity.
1 minute.
Also, most of the debates are pretty fast, and most of the academic events in the WSC are just normally the challenges stuff, and it doesn't really have a link to debate. Now onto our team's second points, that if you participate in the WSC, maybe you're not privileged enough to pay that type of money. For example, when I went to Bangkok last week, we did survive, yes, but we had to minimize our spending because when you leave your home country, maybe Vietnam, for example, maybe because Vietnam is known to be pretty cheap, then when you go to Thailand, it's a bit like more expensive. So we aren't used to like.
Pause. Sorry, Huang, pause. We have a POI from Harry. Harry, what's your point of information?
Wow, you are really missing the point of the speech. We state that we only state something about debating. The topic just stay about debating. We don't say anything about any other things because we're talking about debating, not any other things. The topic doesn't really say anything about
See, honestly, I think I heard your second speaker said like the WSC has opportunities to like talk with friends and make new friends. And that's
but it's not
only
debate. It's only about debating. Okay, it's only about debating.
Yeah, then why did she say that? Your second negative said that.
Okay, timer is resumed. Timer is resumed.
Now, finally, with all the points above, I am very strongly to propose that the motion should
Sorry,
never.
Huang, another point of interest has been raised. Sue, what's your point of interest? Point of information?
So like I said about that giving feedbacks over time and you can learn from each other doesn't mean like I'm saying that WC is just for making friends and not debating. Thank you.
Okay. Huang, your reply?
But most of the WSC is like, as I said before, the WSC is like just like one event is debate. It's not like challenge and bowl. Bowl and challenge is like not debate. Can you clearly see that? It's WSC is like debate and then two other academic
POI over,
events.
back to your
It's
speech.
not just it's not focused only on debate.
Time resumed, Huang, back to your speech, please.
Now, in conclusion, I very strongly believe that with all the points above, I believe that the motion should never fall.
Thank you.
I have a little question.
Yes, Man Hui,
Wait,
what's your
he's
question?
opposition, right? But
Correct.
he says the motion must not fall.
He said should never fall.
Oh my
Never fall.
god.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
That's
A
so
slip-
weird.
A slip of terminology.
He thought it
A
was
slip
like
of
a
terminology.
proposition. He
So-
called the opposing team the opposition, I think.
We can just consider that a slip in terminology. But thank you, Huang. I would now like to invite the third and final speaker of the proposition team, Max, to deliver the proposition's closing arguments. Your time begins now.
So let's be clear something about his speech, his last part of his speech.
he told us about that, like the Scottish Bowl and the Scottish Challenge is clearly not related to debate. But this motion clearly states that that is not what we're debating about. We're debating about the part of team debate, the team debate part of the World Scholars Cup. We're debating about that part comparing to the other academic events about debating. But first of all, let's just read the judges. So my name is Max, and today I'm going to be debating on the motion of that WSC is indeed the best of all debate subjects that we have here in Vietnam. So let's just first start with my rebuttals. For the first speaker, they said that the judges are biased. It follows for that. Are you sure that other competitions, the WSDC or IB Prep, are you sure that that's not biased? Every single debate is biased, of course, because we don't have anything that which is not biased. Because
1 minute.
we can see that people of WSDC do judge, but they judge in quality and all those fallacies that they said about. But moving on to my second rebuttal, they said that the judges of WSDC does not have more experience than the other teams. Well, literally, there is no proof of that. WSC has unexperienced this judge, just as Sue said. Well, to the second speaker, they said that they have many more competitions that make friends. Well, it falls for that. There isn't as much friendship related to these debate competitions. The stressful meanings of these competitions, they only focus on debate, and that creates stress for most people because they're trying to win the cup, they're trying to win the medals, and that is not what we want in this debate. And
Sorry, Max, we've had a POI right on the bell of 2 minutes. Jason, what's your POI?
Well, he literally said that some contests that the judges are biased, right? But I am 100% sure that only the WSC they are biased.
That's time
but like
on the
many
POI.
others, like IB Prep, yeah,
That's time
IB
on the
Prep,
POI,
they,
Jason.
yeah.
Max, do you have a rebuttal to the comments that Jason made then?
So if my speakers were clear, they were saying that Jason said about that the judges of WSC is the most biased. But we can clearly see that some professionals don't make many biases. They have the least amount of bias compared to other WSDCs or IB Prep. Moving on to my speech.
And that's time. Back to your speech.
Moving on to my speech. The second speaker said about money issues. Well, if we come to another country, we just only change our money to another thing. Like, for example, the second speaker talked about Thailand. We change your money from Vietnam dong or US dollars to just Thailand money. It doesn't change the value. It just changes the amount of money, but doesn't change the value that you bring. Well, now I will move on to my summary of my arguments. My second speaker, Sue, told you about the organizational excellence, the feedbacks of the people of WSC. This clearly proved to you that smooth logistics, efficient communication, as well as organized schedule are essential for successful competition. The feedbacks that the people give, of course, do give them the paid attention, and that does improve their core values of listening. Everybody wants to listen well. Well, that is true because most people will. And the World Scholars Cup is widely regarded in our world of that it offers a unique and comprehensive format that go beyond traditional debate competitions, just as our first speaker said. The topics and themes covered in the competition encourages students to develop into various subjects, empowering them to make more well-rounded individuals. This is why I believe that we should take this debate for the most comprehensive rebuttal and the most persuasive arguments. Thank you.
Oh, right on the overtime buzzer there. Timing, Max. And finally, I would like to hand it over to the opposition team to make their closing remarks.
Okay.
Your time begins. 3, 2, 1, go.
Speakers. I am the third speaker of the opposition team, and here was the motion. So first, we'd like to focus on the rebuttals that the other team has given us. you said that your first speaker said that World Scholar Cup's competition has many topics. This is true. World Scholar Cup is, but however, World Scholar Cup is an international competition. This means the topics as well as the format may not always use to be a scientific line with the local and national issues in Vietnam. And thus, some students may prefer a competition or it prefers topics who are relevant to the country. Moreover, you also observe about one other speaker that saying that the judges are not so biased as the others. But however, you are forgetting one thing. All the other judges are not the WSCC judges, they are more experienced, as well as their coaches have more power in their hands, and they are usually more accurate in this field as well. You must remember that in WSC, there are many all right.
Sorry, Rosa,
Thank you.
pause.
Yes.
We had a POI raised from Harry. Go.
All right. The judges doesn't really need to be professional so that they can mark many people. We are saying here that the debate must be fun, not non-biased, and we can improve our skills. We can see that if we win
Okay, end of POI.
Of course.
Rosa, what's your response to that?
Okay, of course, these people, they have to, of course, sometimes they make mistakes. But in this situation, there are many judges who are biased in their fields. Thus, the debaters don't get
End
the
of
equal
reply.
chance in everything. And also,
And we've had another POI from Jason. Jason, why are you raising a POI against your own team member?
Oh, I'm not appeal. I mean, I'm just trying to help her, respond to Harry too.
No, Rosa's the current speaker. Rosa is the one that gets to reply to that. Okay, time resumed. You have 2 minutes.
Great.
Or yeah, 1 minute and 50 seconds left.
Why Jason would POI their own teammate? That's weird. Like he POI his own teammate. He asking his own teammate point.
Back to the debate. Rosa, sorry, you have 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
okay,
Ethan.
so you must also remember that WSC, there are many debaters, so a judge must take care of these many debaters, resulting in a room not getting a biased judge. So you also said that in WC today there's teamwork from the other speakers, but as there are many other competitions who also incorporate debating competitions that also have 3 speakers, such as the other debate competitions. IB Prep and all of those competitions, they are just similar to the World Scholar Cup, but they focus on other various fields that are different from the World Scholar Cup. Now, I'd like to focus on summarizing my team's ideas. So firstly, while the school's debating championship or Scholar Cups provides a very well-rounded educational experience, some students may find it overwhelming sometimes or distracting if their primary interest is debate. Specialized debating competitions can offer a more concentrated view in debating and honing their debate skills instead of just having other fields such as ball and
Max having POI.
a lot of
Max having POI.
We're past the point of POIs now. Rosa, continue.
Sorry. So we should have, instead, if you actually want a good debating one, a
3 minutes.
competition, I think you should primarily focus on debate instead. Moreover, a World Scholar Cup is an international competition, which means the topic and format may not relate locally to national issues in Vietnam or any specific country. Cost and mobility. As other speakers of my team has mentioned, participating in World Scholar Cup can be indeed very expensive, particularly for students from lower income backgrounds.
And overflow time has finished.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So that's time. Okay, so first of all, really, really well done by everybody. I love the passion. I love the fact that we had points of information. I really love the passion coming from that. We had a lot of back and forwards and loudness, and I genuinely really enjoyed that. So just to clarify some of the rules. So because we have 3 minutes of speaking time in this debate, POIs are not allowed between 0 seconds and 1 minute, and they're not allowed between 2 minutes and 3 minutes. So you have in between 2 minutes, so in between 1 minute and 2 minutes to lodge your POIs, at which point the speaker's speech time is paused. The speaker's speech time is paused and a separate 50-second timer is begun to raise the POI. Once that ends, the speaker then gets a 15-second reply to that. Once that's finished, then we go back to the speaker's speech time and they resume their arguments. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to open a couple of breakout rooms so that we can send the two into them to discuss with themselves how they think the debate went, how they think they performed, how they think their opponents performed, and just kind of self-analyze the debate. And we will also, then the judges will score the debate in here, excuse me, and we'll bring the debaters back in and announce the scores. Okay, guys, give me just 2 minutes.
Or create a poll for the best team.
Okay. Now, for some reason, this the breakout rooms does not let me leave everybody else in this room, so I've got to create a third room called main room. So you are assigned to that and you get sent there. Please come straight back to this room that we're in now. Any of the debaters, you stay in your rooms until I come to get you.
Michael, maybe you open the breakout room that allow them to like manual join the room instead of
yeah, I'm just doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just doing that, Ms. Duke.
Okay.
Okay, so
Do you want me to change you give the host to you for your easy for your convenience? I give you the host, okay? Just give me the co-host. Are you here?
I think he's busy coughing or something. Yeah, I think he's a little busy coughing.
He's at the corner of my
Hello.
What happened to the teacher?
That's the spiritual.
I think he's going to the breakout room or something.
I
I know
can
where
literally see him in the main room. I just see him in the main room.
I think so too. I think the judges
Yeah, he's in the main room. He's in the main room.
are.
Yo,
I
guess
think
what?
he's
Sorry, microphone was muted again. I've been talking to myself the last 2 minutes. Yeah, so I'm about to open the breakout rooms now. So like I say, debaters, stay in the rooms you've been put in. Anybody else in here that goes to that gets put into the main room, come immediately back to this room here. Please don't stay in the breakout room you'll be sent to.
Just sending me to Maine. I'm going on vacation, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the teacher sent me to Maine.
How about mine? Like, do we just stay here or what?
Yeah, so so while we stay here, so all of our judges or everybody that was scoring the debate, obviously we're following the same format that we were doing this morning. So just remember that, add up all the scores on for each individual criteria, get your total score there, and then add together the scores from the 5 criteria to get the team's overall score. And then when you send in your scores, I'll send you an example. So please send it in like that. Send the proposition score, the total proposition score, the line below it, the total opposition score.
I can't hear you, sir.
I'm not even
I
muted
think your
this
mic
time. What's
is
going
on, but I can't hear you. I can hear your.
Hello, can you
I
hear me
can
now?
see your mouth. Hear you. Nope, I still can't hear you. Can anyone else hear?
How about now?
I can hear both
now?
of you guys. Or something.
Or is it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud
Yeah.
and clear.
That's the problem from Victoria.
Okay, so when you send your scores in, just send it like I've just sent the example in the message here.
Okay.
So proposition, put in their total score, opposition, put in their total score on the line below. And then on the third line, send in who you nominate for best speaker overall.
It was so sad since Hamp joined late and I didn't just get to completely annihilate.
Mister, can I have a question?
Yes.
How do we, like, what is the score range for debater? And what is the average?
Okay, so hang on, I'll share my screen. I'll show you the rubric that we've used for this debate. Although
Okay.
when Sophia joins the call, she will be teaching you tonight about how we'll be scoring the debates for the NCSN competition, which is a slightly different rubric. I just like this scoring rubric because it's one I'm familiar with. Okay, so I'll share my screen now. There we go. So the way that we have been scoring this morning's debate and this evening's debate, so you just write the speaker's name next to the number of speaker they were, just to take up less space in the rubric. So let's say we'll do one for the proposition team. And I'll just do one line. I'll do organization and clarity. Let's say speaker 1 scored a 3, speaker 2 scored a 2, speaker 3 scored a 4. You do the score each team member the same for each rubric. I don't know why I put 4 there. Let's 3. So you'd score each debater in the team for each of the 5 criteria we've got. So organization and clarity, how well their speech was structured, whether they signposted to make it very obvious what they were talking about. The quality of their arguments is the next one. Use of evidence and facts as the third one. How good was their rebuttal? And then the 5th one is overall presentation and style. So body language, vocal modulation, facial expressions, hand gestures, posture. So once you've scored all of that, we then just add them all together. So one speaker had 2, one had 3, which is 5, and one scored 4, which makes that one a 9. So then you would go through all 5 of the criteria, add these total scores together, and that will give you the team's total score. Now, for the use of rebuttals, because the first speaker of the proposition team has no rebuttal, let's say speaker 2 scored a 2, speaker 3 scored a 3. So we see here that we've got 5. So we'd find the average divided by 2 is 2.5. So total rebuttal is 5. Divide by 2 for average, 2.5. Round up. The first proposition speaker would get I suppose not honorary. What's the word I'm looking for? I'll just say honorary. They'd get an honorary rebuttal score of 3. So that would then take their total score to 8. And that's how you would score the debate in this instance. Okay. All right, guys, so I've just got to reply to a quick message and I'll be right back with you. Judges, once you've done your scores, please send them in the messages. I'll add them together and then we can announce the winners once we've got some scores. Okay, so we are still waiting for the teams. Rosa was in the opposition team. Yeah, so because there were 2 other speakers on the team, we divide their added score by 2 to get the average. And if it's a half number, then we round up. So if the combined total for the other 2 is 5, we divide by 2. which gets 2.5. We round up to 3. First proposition gets an honorary rebuttal score of 3. If it's 6, divide by 2, you've got an automatic 3. If it's 7, divide by 2 is 3.5. You round up to 4. If it's 8, divide by 2, you get 4 anyway. So have any of our judges sent in any scores yet?
Mr. Archer,
Hello.
I'm so sad that Hap joined late because if he had joined early, I would have had the chance to completely annihilate him.
Them's fighting words. Don't worry, guys. We are going to have plenty of opportunities
To
for you
debate,
guys,
please.
Shut up, Lucas.
I want to
for you guys
debate.
to debate each other. And
Can I debate with you?
at the moment, not just yet. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to have a couple of conversations at once, and I am not very gifted at multitasking. Okay, so have any of our judges actually scored the debate? Or should we bring in or should okay. So I've got 1. Good. I've got 2. Okay, so I've got 2 judges have offered scores in this debate.
Teacher, can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
Why is teacher Sophia in the breakout room with the other church and saying something?
I
just joined it for fun because I think that there will be no one there. And I suppose teacher Sophia with a lot of other people.
Well, I'll bring everyone back into this room shortly, and then we can all go over this stuff together. Oh my gosh. Summer, you were brutal with your scores. Okay. All right, so I definitely have enough scores here now to determine the best speaker. And yeah. All right, so no more judges' scores, please. Okay. Now I just need 20 seconds to do some simple maths. Okay, brilliant, guys. I'm going to close the breakout rooms now and bring everyone back together.
Hi, teacher, we're back.
Hello, welcome.
I've been here for 2 minutes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey,
Okay.
do we have the points yet?
Yes, I do. I'm just waiting for the opposition and the people that are for some reason in the main room.
Is it really brutal?
No, the scores were actually quite close. It's just that one judge in particular was very, very, very brutal with how they scored the debate.
They gave
I
think I know who that is.
Oh, Victoria is brutal. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you,
Nicely done.
Victoria.
Oh, Victoria? OMG.
Victoria is brutal. No, that is not good.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Bro, what
Beautiful. So we should all be back in here now, and a very warm good evening to Sophia.
Hi. Sorry, I was just giving them a little crash course on adjudicating in the breakout room.
No worries. The good thing is we get to repeat it again after we announce these scores. Okay, so in second place with a total score of 222 points, we have the proposition team. And obviously in first place with a total of 235 points, so only 13 points difference, we have the opposition team. And the best speaker by far, I've run class debates with some of my private classes where there's been like a 40-point difference. So 13 points is really not a lot in my experience. And the best speaker voted by far was Rosa. Congratulations. And let me just offer a little bit of feedback there. The reason that Rosa was given, and this was like the vastly agreed upon reason that Rosa was voted best speaker, is because she didn't shout, she didn't scream, she didn't top anybody's speakers or headphones out, she didn't cause any ears to bleed, and she didn't cause anybody to need to mute their speakers.
Bro.
So well done,
Very
and well
funny.
Oh, that is my
Funniest
key
explanation I've ever heard. What the
Okay.
hell?
Rose is literally dying of laughter. Just pin her, everyone. Like,
Bro.
I think she fell off her chair or something.
Look at her. Look at her. Oh, wait,
Well, we
you can
can't
She's
see
not
her 'cause
even
she's fallen
here
out of the
visible
room.
now.
She fell off her chair.
Okay, so
Chair for her.
but again, very well done to all of our debaters. We really haven't had a lot of time to prepare these arguments, but you all did fantastic overall. I really enjoyed seeing and getting to moderate the points of information. Very, very, very well done. I personally love the passion, especially when you can see the body language, like getting right into it. No, you got to believe. I really enjoyed it, guys. That was really good. Okay, so before we begin with Sophia taking us through the role of the judge and a bit about the scoring rubrics that we'll be using for the tournament, I just wanted to introduce you to the tournament rules that we'll be working with, and then I'll pass it over to Judge Sophia, who will introduce to you about the adjudicating. Okay, so there will be 3 individual sets of rules. The first one that we're going through tonight is the rules for the actual debates. The second set of rules that we'll need to go through on a later session will be the rules for the judges. And the third set of rules, or it's more like a list of roles and responsibilities, is what the moderator does in detail. So first of all, the rules of the actual debates themselves. So number 1, 2 teams of equal size will debate on opposite sides of today's topic. The proposition will agree with the topic and argue for the motion, and the opposition will disagree and argue against it. Number 2, there is a moderator or chairperson who will help to control the proceedings of the debate today. If you have any questions about the debate or the rules of the debate, please direct your questions to the moderator/chairperson. Number 3, each team will be given equal speaking time to deliver their arguments, rebuttals, and any other information they wish to enter into the debate. Each speaker will be given 4 minutes to deliver their arguments, rebuttals, and any other information they wish to enter into the debate. When the current speaker has 1 minute left to speak, the moderator/chairperson will alert the current speaker. Each speaker will take turns according to the order decided by the teams before the debate, beginning with the proposition team's first speaker. Once the first proposition speaker has delivered their argument, each following speaker will have an opportunity to rebut the previous speaker's arguments in an attempt to weaken their case. Number 6, the proposition must not offer any arguments that do not support the motion of the debate. Likewise, the opposition must not offer any arguments that support the motion, regardless of the debater's personal feelings towards the topic. Number 7, if a speaker makes a statement or an argument, they must have evidence to support their claims. Any evidence presented by debaters must be both honest and accurate. And this is a very serious rule that Judge Sophia and I deliberated over quite a bit. Debaters are allowed to quote a source directly, but they must give credit where it is due. Any plagiarism or AI-generated answers will result in the offending speaker's team being disqualified from the tournament. So this is a rule that we're taking very seriously. Number 9, the third speaker from each team are excluded from the opportunity to deliver their team's reply speech. This is to ensure that no team allows any speaker to speak twice consecutively, because obviously we have third oppositions. What does what mean?
What does number 9 mean?
So we know the structure of an AP debate, how we go third opposition speakers closing arguments, then immediately into opposition team's reply speech. The third opposition speaker is not allowed to deliver the opposition's reply speech, because that means then that speaker would be speaking twice in a row straight after each other, and that's not allowed. So it has to be either the first or the second speaker from either team to deliver the reply speech. And number 10, and we enacted this one a lot in the debate this evening. If a debater notices that one of the rules has been broken, they are invited to interrupt the current speaker by raising a sign to declare a point of order. Likewise, if a debater wishes to challenge an argument from the other team, they may raise a sign to declare a point of information. Please note that debaters cannot interrupt the current speaker during the first minute or the final minute of their speaking time. We wrote there that a bell will be rung to signify that the first minute of speaking time has lapsed, but I tried that in the public demo debate. No one could hear it. It was suggested to me that I clap instead to let them know of the time limits. Again, that wasn't heard, so we've made the decision that moderators will enunciate 1 minute, 3 minutes, 4 minutes to let the speakers know, because that's easiest heard through the microphone. So a bell will be rung to signify that the first minute of speaking time has lapsed. A second verbal warning will be spoken to signify that the speaker has 1 minute remaining. And we just got to change that to the speaker will be muted. Oh, sorry, a 4 minute warning will be issued when the speaker's speaking time has ended, and the speaker will be muted if they go past the 30 seconds of overflow time. So does everybody understand the rules as they've been read?
Mr. Archer,
Hello,
can I ask a question?
you may.
Sometimes if the debaters are like kind of weak, they might break one of the rules or something, because sometimes they might put on their own opinion and they might put a claim without some examples and stuff. So like
that would be a point of order that you'd raise. So if you have an
so
issue with,
they are
yes,
like eliminated or something.
pardon?
Are they eliminated or something?
No. So if they offer their own opinion or they break a rule in another way, then the opposing team is welcome to put forth a point of order. So, but if you take umbrage with an argument that they've offered or a piece of evidence that they've offered, then you would raise a point of information like has been raised in tonight's debate. But a point of order is for any perceived rule violations.
Okay.
The only disqualifying rule break there is if any speaker is caught with a plagiarized or AI generated answer.
Okay.
That's impossible with AI class, like this.
We're gonna try.
Like,
we're gonna
don't
try our
fight
darndest. We're gonna try our darndest. Okay, and Cherie, you have a question?
So my question is about like not really a question, but I just like want to ask about like usually like you will mute a speaker if they're over timing, like some of it's 4 minutes, right? But usually when I compete, the judge does allow the speaker to like finish their last sentence. So is it allowed this class?
So for this tournament, so the allowed speaking time is 4 minutes. And at the end of that 4 minute period, it will be enunciated. The moderator will say 4 minutes. And then from that point, we have allowed an additional 30 seconds of overflow time. But if you go past that 30 seconds, so 4 minutes and 30 seconds total, you're just immediately muted, regardless of how much you've got left. Doesn't matter if it's one word, one sentence, or one paragraph.
Okay.
So yeah, we've given you that extra 30 seconds. Okay, thank you very much for your, thank you very much for your attention, boys and girls. I'll now pass you back. I'll now pass you over to Judge Sophia.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so actually earlier I was covering what I was going to say right now to the judges in the breakout room, but I think for the sake of the participants in the debate, I'll repeat it again. All right. So the main role of an adjudicator really is to just judge what the debaters are bringing to the table. And therefore, this brings me to the first most important rule of judging, which is that you do not judge debaters on what they could have brought, but rather you judge them based on what they have brought to the table. And an example that I brought up earlier to illustrate this point was that if proposition raises a very weak argument, but opposition doesn't say anything to take it down, we still give credit to proposition. We still give credit to proposition for raising that point, and we judge it. Of course, we judge it based off how good that point was, but they still receive some level of credit for it. Okay, so that's how I'd like to preface this this briefing. But before we move on into the scoring factors, I think I'd just like to remind everyone who wants to become an adjudicator that judging is quite different from debating in the sense that you need to have, sorry, please mute yourselves, that in the sense that you need to have a very balanced view of both sides. And obviously you cannot have any sort of bias, even more so than a debater. All right. Okay, I have read that chat. I will show you all my beautiful face in advance before tomorrow's workshop. But as I was saying, what the role of an adjudicator is to give a non-biased view, a review rather, of what has happened during the debate. And more than just scoring the debaters and putting a number to show how well they've done, what I believe is more important as an adjudicator is the feedback that you give to your debaters, because really that's what gives them the opportunity to grow and become better debaters. And I think all as debaters, you all can agree that, you know, when you go into a debate and you come out, it's not just the verdict that you think about, but it's also about, you know, what you could have done better as well as what you did well in. So as an adjudicator, you need to be very clear on how you structure your feedback and how you're able to relay that feedback to the debaters. Okay? So does anyone have any questions at this point in time? Okay, feel free to raise your hands if you have any questions. In the meantime, I'll continue. So the three scoring factors that I'll cover them only briefly today because this is not an official judging briefing. And just so that we're on the same page, I understand that some of you hope to be shadow adjudicators for the tournament, but we are only able to accept 8 shadow judges due to limitations in the judging panel. And therefore, we'll have some selections for these if you wish to sign up to be a shadow adjudicator. Yeah. So the 3 factors that you'll be considering when you are scoring are style, content, and strategy. Very easy to remember, right? So, okay, so out of 100% that you grade a score, style will take 40%, content will take 40%, and strategy will take 20%. And I'm just trying to talk about this verbally. So if you guys wish to, you can take notes, but I didn't prepare slides because this really was just supposed to be a very quick crash course on adjudicating. And so that, you know, as debaters, you can also know what to look out for during the tournament itself.
Just
so back to where I was.
Sophia, sorry, style
Yes.
40, content 40, strategy 20.
Yes. That's great. But for the official educator briefing, I'll prepare slides. Okay. So style, I'll just cover it, but I did talk about this too in the breakout room. But style is essentially consisting of your body language and your voice. So body language refers to things like eye contact, your hand gestures, your facial expressions, and essentially how you structure your body such that you present a very confident and knowledgeable portrait of yourself to the adjudicators, because that really brings your point across better. And the other aspect of style would be your voice. So this includes things like your volume, especially since we're debating online, you might have some technical difficulties with your mic, but it would be really good to resolve them, because if the judges are straining their ears to really just catch your speech, that makes it a lot harder to grade it well. It also includes things like your enunciation. So that's how clearly you pronounce your words. And it might be a little bit of a struggle, especially since I understand that some of you guys might have some difficulties since English might not be your first language. So you might have some difficulties with an accent. But yeah, enunciation is still something that you have to train yourselves for, and as adjudicators, you have to look up for. And finally on style and with regards to voice, it would be your speed and your fluency. So even though you might have a lot of content, you might not want to speed through it extremely quickly, because then, as an adjudicator, that would be hard to listen to. So if the debater is able to slow down at the most pertinent arguments and able to deliver them in a way that doesn't drag on, but at the same time gets the point across very clearly, then that means that they are good at varying their speed. And also that relates to fluency, which would impact how well they deliver their speech. So if you practice your speech frequently, if you rehearse it, then you'll be able to deliver it without stuttering. Okay, so that's style. Any questions at this juncture? Okay, seeing none, I'll move on to content. So content, very simply, is the contents of your speech. So this would both includes what you are actually saying in your speech, as well as your organization of it. So firstly, based off what you are saying. So if, for example, the debater were giving a substantive, then as an adjudicator, you will be marking them based off how clear their point is, how well supported with evidence or examples it is, as well as how well linked it is to its impact on the motion, on the world as a whole, or the stakeholders as a whole, to be more specific. Okay, then on the other hand, if the debater were raising a rebuttal, then you would be considering the different tiers of a rebuttal that they used and how well they were able to tackle the different aspects of the points that the other side brought up. But of course, content would be nothing if it weren't for organization. So under the organization aspect of content, it includes things like signposting, which is where you state, now I will be moving on to my substantives, for example. Or if at the start of your speech, you would say, as the first speaker, I will talk about A, my second speaker will talk about B, and my third speaker will C. Make sense? So this is signposting. And this falls under content because it helps adjudicators see more clearly what's the content that you and your team are going to be presenting. But also under organization would include how you structure your substantives and your rebuttals. For example, as an opposition speaker, you might wish to structure your rebuttals such that you deliver all your rebuttals before you deliver your substantives. And this might be a clearer organization structure than if you said one rebuttal, then one substantive, one rebuttal, one substantive, which might get very confusing for adjudicators. So this might be all a little bit abstract to you guys, but for those who we select as adjudicators, you will have a lot more opportunities to practice these, okay? So finally, on to strategy. So strategy consists of two things. Firstly, your individual speaker role, and secondly, your team strategy, okay? So under individual speaker roles, I think everyone here is familiar with what speaker roles are, right? They're essentially what you have to cover as, for example, a first proposition speaker or as maybe a second opposition speaker. So, for example, a force proposition speaker would have to talk about their policy, if they have one, their characterization, their case setup, their definitions, things like that. So as adjudicators, you need to look out for whether the debaters have fulfilled all of the necessary criteria for their speaker role, and this falls under strategy. And I think that's quite straightforward. The slightly more complicated one that has a little bit more nuance, I think, and might need a bit more practice, is with regards to team strategy. So there isn't any exact formula to follow for team strategy, but some indicators of good strategy would include, firstly, bringing up the team's most important substantive in the first speaker. It will also include things like characterization of the motion and the stakeholders in a way that benefits the substantives that your team is going to bring up. It also includes things like, for example, if the opponent raises a POI during the speech, but the POI would be more relevant to your next speaker, then you might pass on this POI to your next speaker. So as adjudicators, you need to look out for all of these actions from the debaters that might not be so obvious in their speech, but still contribute to their team strategy. And because this indicates that they have planned out, how they are going to deliver their substantives in the strongest way possible, how they are going to deliver their rebuttals in the way that takes down, the most important points of the opposing team. Okay? So at this point, are there any questions or any terms that I've brought up that you guys need me to explain a little bit further? Feel free to just raise your hand or unmute and ask.
Something?
Yes.
In a real debate, I think we don't use POI in a real debate.
No, we use it in WSDC.
Sorry. Okay, yes. Thank you for the clarification. No worries, I'll bring that up. I understand that maybe as new debaters, you might have experience in raising and receiving POIs, but for first, second, and third speakers, there will be a time in which POIs can be raised by the opposing team. And when we say POIs, these POI stands for point of information. So usually they're phrased as a question or a succinct point raised as, a rebuttal or a quick question to clarify. Yeah. And, I think I can go into more detail about POIs during one of the workshops that we'll be holding on the Sundays. But yeah, that's all I'll cover for now. But yes, there'll be POIs. Sorry, looking at the questions in the chat. The second and third speaker can have characterization. Replying to Jennifer, they can have characterization, but this characterization should all have been brought up in the first speaker, because that makes the most sense, right? You want to characterize the motion in such a way that all of your substantives will benefit from it. Yes? So even though the first speaker brings up at least the majority or the most important parts of the characterization, the second and third speakers should tap into that characterization when they raise their substantives or their rebuttals. Okay, now replying to Summer's question, yes, the adjudicators will have time for deliberation after the debate ends, usually 10 to 15 minutes, where they will finish up the score, where they'll finish up filling the individual speaker scores, and then they'll discuss the sort of feedback that they want to give to the debaters. Sorry, does anyone else have any other questions?
No.
No? Okay. So
wait,
yes.
I would like to ask something about the strategy thingy.
Okay.
Well, if sometimes the first speaker doesn't really give a clear definition, is that not a really good strategy, or the first speaker doesn't really give the full summarization, or why our team is better than their team thingy?
Sorry, okay, so I heard you raise 2 points. So first on definitions. And yes, since it falls under speaker roles, if the first proposition doesn't bring up definitions, then that is something that you can award them lower strategy scores for. But of course, it won't immediately mean that they'll lose like 10 marks in strategy. You need to consider their speech holistically. Okay? Then you also asked about, you asked for them to give, for the first speaker to give a summary of why, a comparison, is it?
Yes, comparison.
Okay. This doesn't come out in first speaker because, you know, no substantives.
On the third speaker.
But yes. Okay, good that you clarified. Yes, as the third, since it is within the speaker roles of the third and the reply speakers to weigh the debate, that is, you compare the arguments that both sides have brought up and sort them out into clashes and figure out, you know, which side performed better in which aspects, then yes, if they aren't able to do this, if they only raise rebuttals but they don't weigh the debate, then yes, you as an adjudicator can give them lower strategy score, because it is not a strategic move to not weigh the debate as a third speaker. Oh, okay. Someone asked about an example for characterization. Okay, so for example, let's say there's a motion. This house would something about, maybe the motion was something about children, for example. This house would ban fast food advertisements to children. Okay, that's an example of a motion. Then how you would characterize in this case is that, okay, two things you can characterize. You are almost always characterizing nouns, right? That makes sense. You're using adjectives to describe nouns. So the two main things that you'll be describing here would be the advertisements and children, and also fast food, but that's that falls more under definition and less of characterization. So firstly, you would characterize advertisements, especially those for children, to be very attention grabbing. You know, they might use catchy music, they might use, you know, cute little dancers, so they will pop up everywhere on social media, things like that. That's how you characterize advertisements. So for example, if you were proposition, you would want to ban these advertisements, right? Because this house would ban fast food advertisements for children. Then you would say that these advertisements would show up everywhere and they would have a very strong influence on children. Does that make sense? Then another example would be that for the same motion, you would characterize children to be young and since they have yet to develop the mental faculties to distinguish between, you know, what is healthy for them and what is not, they might make poor decisions, and therefore they are very highly influenced by all these advertisements that they see. So that's what you want to characterize as proposition, because you want to push for the fact that, oh, you know, these advertisements are bad because they sway children too much and they make children make unhealthy lifestyle decisions. Okay, so that's an example of characterization. Did that answer your question? Okay. Are there any other questions? No?
No.
Okay, in which case, I think we're quite on time. Mr. Michael, I've finished my section. Thank you very much for giving me your attention, guys.
Thank you very much to teacher Sophia. We very much appreciate your expertise on the matter. So yeah, guys, we've done everything that we need to do. I will actually, before you finish, would you mind doing a couple of minutes on reply speeches?
Sorry, you'd like me to talk about reply speeches?
Yeah, so just in the same vein as we've done the the style, content, and strategy here. It doesn't need to be very detailed, just so I can take down some basic notes for everybody.
Oh, for reply speeches, it's still style, content, and strategy. It's just that since reply speeches are half the length of a regular speech, then instead of scoring it 40, 40, 20, it'll be scored 20, 20, 10. Does that make sense? The ratio is still the same, just the weightage is halved. But other than that, all the criteria still remain the same. And the style, you still look out for confident body language, you still look out for confident tone, volume, fluency. And the content, you'll still look out for, in this case, you are looking at their weighing of the debate. You are looking for the comparisons, the analysis of the debate that they present. But yeah, it's still the same things about, how well explained is the content, how convincing the analysis is, how well organized it is. Okay? Then strategy, it's back to speaker role as well, because as a reply speaker, you are basically like the third speaker, but without rebuttals and a little bit more biased to your side, because you want to really hammer in the point that, your side has performed better. So therefore, as an educator, you should be looking out for whether they are whether they have been able to weigh the debate in a way such that, you are convinced that they win these clashes. And you also want to look out for strategy in terms of, maybe they are conceding some smaller clashes in favor of winning larger clashes. Does that make sense? Okay, so that should be all I have to cover for reply speeches. But I'll give a more in-depth analysis of reply speeches. That will take place during the workshops. So yeah, you guys can look forward to that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Teacher Sophia. So these notes are just very rudimentary, as I was just trying to take them as Teacher Sophia was talking. So I'll pass these on to Ms. Duke, so she can put them in your Zalo group. And then just study them and just read them a little bit until Teacher Sophia gives you a more in-depth and detailed explanation of them. Actually, so I'll go through. Pardon, Jason?
Can I add friend with you instead of that?
One more time?
Can I add friend with you in some apps or something?
Yeah, I added you on Zalo when you sent me your details.
Yes. On the chat box, I already sent that.
Yeah, I've added you already, so you should have my friend request. Okay, so the last thing I'll go through with everybody tonight is just the expected, or just the structure of the workshops. So let me find that.
Deadlines.
I have a question too.
Is your question for me or for Teacher Sophia?
I want to ask Teacher Sophia. And my question is about the points of a debate speech. Like, what's the total points, or how do you have a specific score for a debate speech or each debater, or you're just going to estimate it in your own head and then
Oh, it splits, like I said, under for example, out of a score of 100, it would be 40 for style. That is the maximum of 40 for style, maximum of 40 for content, and maximum of 20 for strategy, which adds up to 100. So then, based off the criteria that I've mentioned, you will holistically assess the debater and give them a score out of that. But for the purpose of this tournament, we'll be using a scaled down version of this, especially since speeches are shorter. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so as soon as my screen share starts working, I'll just quickly run through the workshop agenda with you guys, the topics and or the subjects and the topics that we'll be covering. So as you guys are aware, this is just like a basic level workshop to give students that have never debated before or who have minimal debating experience a chance to learn what debating is all about. So all of this stuff I can pretty much guarantee you guys will already know. You guys, we're just going to be putting you in with a lot less experienced debaters, so you can share your experience and just help them understand what debating is all about. Because while Sophia and I, we're perfectly capable of explaining what debate is all about, we just think that having some other kids around the same age or slightly older, they'll be able to relate to you guys a lot more and say, oh, like these other kids, they're really good, they know what they're doing, so that we can do this too. So just a chance to kind of feed them some enthusiasm and show them what's possible. So the workshops are actually 2 hours each, but the lesson part will be the first hour. Then the second hour of each workshop will just be the breakout rooms where you guys will be meeting with the other participants and sharing your experiences. So tomorrow, week 1, we're going to be covering the introduction to debate, so terminology and concepts. So we'll be explaining what debate actually is and the reasons why it's important, why it's an important skill set to have. We'll be teaching the basic terminology, so proposition and opposition, the team names, things like topic, the motion, what is an argument, what is a rebuttal, all of these important words they'll need to know. We'll also be going into some very basic level stuff on different types of debate formats. So we're going to be focusing mainly on the debate formats that students are likely to encounter in competitions. But we're going to be paying most attention and most detail to the Asian parliamentary format, which is being used in this tournament. And then also we'll have a chance for a question and answer session. And then again, in the breakout rooms, you guys will be able to do the same thing. And remember what I said, I think it was last night. If you don't know the answer to a question, please just say you don't know the answer to a question and that you'll research it and you'll find out and tell them later. Don't make something up to appear like you know everything because you're afraid to not know something. Week 2 will be the structure of a debate. So we'll be going over, the structure of a debate. So the introductory portion, the substantive speeches, rebuttals, closing statements, and reply speeches. We'll be breaking down each part's purpose. So why do we have the introductions, the substantive speeches, so on and so forth. And we'll be pointing out the time allocation. So how long each section is expected to run. And then we'll be explaining, we'll be doing a special section on reply speeches because out of everything, that is the most different part of the debate in comparison to everything else. Week 3, we'll be covering the different roles in the debates. So what the job of each speaker is, what the job of the judges is, what the job of the moderator is. And we'll be covering the responsibilities of each role and how they contribute to the overall success of the debate. Week 4, we're going to be talking about how to construct good arguments using the Teal paragraph structure. Some of you might know it as the Peel with a P paragraph structure. The only difference is P stands for point, T stands for topic, but it's the exact same structure, just a different name for it. We'll be looking at giving some basic strategies for forming persuasive and coherent arguments. And we'll be discussing the reasons why and how a Teal paragraph is the best method for delivering these arguments. Week 5, we'll be looking a little bit more detail into preparing effective rebuttals and writing reply speeches, because as we know, there's only so much of the rebuttals that we can pre-prepare. There's only so much of the reply speech that we can pre-prepare. So we'll be giving them some strategies for how to kind of write these things on the fly while the debate is taking place. And week 6, we'll be giving them some basic information about effective delivery in practice. So a lot of the things that teacher Sophia was talking about in the style category, so things like tone, pace, gestures, posture, eye contact, body language in general, tips for managing nervousness and building confidence, how to engage the audience, how to hold their attention, why it's important to continuously be upskilling and getting better at debate. And then we'll be providing a few resources for anybody interested in doing a bit of self-study to teach themselves some more, about debate skills. Super random question. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, Jason, do you know a Vietnamese boy named Michael?
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, really? Vietnamese?
Yeah.
Pardon, can you say it?
He apparently met you at a competition. He met you at some kind of competition.
Who?
His name's Michael. He wears glasses. He's a student of mine in a public speaking class I do on Sunday nights. He's just sent me a message saying, do you know a guy named Jason? He's 11 and he's in BRVT. He's just asked me about you. He says hello.
Can you describe Michael?
I'll send you a picture on Zalo, but I think as soon as you see it, you'll recognize him. Anyway,
Okay.
guys.
I don't know anybody named Michael except you, Michael, and my friend named Michael studying at my English class with me. No one else.
Hang on 2 seconds.
Dude, talking about Michael, you made me laugh while I was drinking water.
Anyway, by the way, guys, thank you very much for your attention this evening, and thank you again to teacher Sophia. We look forward to seeing you in the workshop tomorrow morning.
See you guys.
Don't mind me asking, but what time? Don't mind me asking, but what time?
So much.
I believe it is. Let me confirm with Ms. Duck. Tentative start time is I think 9 a.m. Vietnamese time. But let me confirm.
9 in the morning, right?
Correct.
Michael, sorry, teacher Michael, the class is 10 o'clock, but I don't know if you want to see the junior teacher earlier, like 30 minutes or 1 hour earlier. Is your choice. Yeah.
Yeah, so we will, we'll say all of you guys, if you get into the call at about 9:30, just
Okay.
so we can kind of give you a debrief or a briefing before
Okay.
the class
Yeah.
starts, and just let you know what to expect.
All right, so I
Tomorrow
text the rules in the Zoom in yellow for the parent, okay? So everyone, can you make sure you name yourself correctly? Because then I need to understand that you are the tutor. So you have to put tutor in front of your name, and then your nickname, your English name, your age, and your city. All right. Then I may give you the co-host. But if maybe too many, then maybe not. But at least I can recognize who you are. Yeah, is it okay, my teacher Michael?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I send the Zoom. I already created the Zoom number. So I send in yellow group. For the parents. Yeah. And for
Beautiful.
everyone here too. Yeah. We will use the same. We don't use this. This is our private one, so we use another one for the class. Yeah. Okay. All
Sounds
right.
good.
Okay. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
I won't believe it. It's 45 today. 45 participants today.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
You're the host, so you can end the Zoom, yeah?
I'm
No
so happy
worries.
no one is suffering from depression.
Wait, sorry, one moment.